This is a reading of a story written by MlpHero, Bezier Ballad, and myself. Attack of the Cuddlebugs. Thorax shepherded the group into the cafeteria before a large thunderstorm could hit. After a while, he watched as a familiar gang of underformed changelings scurried inside. "Why are we going in here again?" one of them, Dagger, asked. "There's a thunderstorm, you mook," Pharynx said, looking over to the short changeling. Dagger rolled his eyes. "Yeah, but why do we have to go in here?" "Well, light rain our wings can take, but this rain will make our wings useless," another one, Blue Flame, said. "But why do we, as in us," Dagger gestured to the rest of the gang, "have to go in here? Why can't we just stay in our rooms?" "We're still Thorax's friends," the oldest one, Broken Wing, said. "It's polite." "Still, it's not like we're scared of storms or something." Bang! Eek! The nymph, Zenex, squealed, hopping onto his friend Hive Hunter's carapace. "You were saying?" Hive asked, reaching and rubbing Zen's head. Dagger rolled his eyes. "Come on, what are we going to do in here anyway?" "The chefs are making some food," Pharynx replied. Dagger squinted and groaned. "Ugh, you win this round." "You know what they're making?" Zenex asked, poking his head out. Pharynx thought for a second. "Just the usual dinners, pastries, and I believe a cake of some sorts." "Yay, cake!" Hive chuckled. "Don't get too excited. Knowing Thorax and Pharynx, they'll probably argue over who gets cake and somehow end up escalating it further." "We will not," Pharynx glared at him. "Just wait and see," Hive snapped at him. "Please, have a bit more faith in us," Pharynx rolled his eyes. "We can handle not fighting over a stupid cake." "I mean, me and Broken used to fight over small stuff," Blue said. "Used to?" Broken said, smirking. "More like still do." Heh. Blue sheepishly scratched the back of his head. "Right." Pharynx led the way into the cafeteria, and Zen looked around for the cake. He blinked, not seeing the tasty pastry. "Hyvie, I don't see it." "They're probably still making it," Hive replied, rubbing his friend's head. "I do see one thing they are making," Mitchell, another member of the gang, said, pointing to an overly large glass, which looked more like a bowl or heck even a pool of punch. "Yeah," Pharynx walked towards Thorax. "You mind explaining why we have the world's largest punch bowl?" "So no one gets thirsty at first," Thorax responded, leaning down to Pharynx. Pharynx looked around. "And mind explaining why we have the world's largest pillow supply?" he asked, pointing towards the overflowing amount of pillows. "Well, Twilight had pillows and blankets given to us from Equestria, so I thought we might make some good use of them," Thorax said. Pharynx face huffed. "Only you, Thorax." "You know you love me, bro." Thorax rubbed his head. Yeah, whatever." He looked around at the many changelings snuggling up and building small pillow forts. "Great. We're going to have to watch this all night." Thorax smiled. "Come on, Fair. It can't be all bad." "Just wait until the nymphs see whatever cake the chefs are making." "Don't worry, the cake will be big. It should have enough for all of us," Thorax reassured him. "Where is it?" Pharynx asked. "They're just putting the finishing touches on it." "Great," Pharynx said with a sigh. Thorax chuckled. "So, how are the others fitting in?" He gestured to the pangs. "They're fine. Dagger's complaining, but the rest are okay." Thorax nodded. "That's good. I wonder where Ocellus went." "I'm here." Ocellus raced up, wearing a saddlebag. "I was collecting some books to read." Pharynx's face hooked again. "Only you, Ocellus." "Wait, why are we in here anyway?" "It's just a storm." Pharynx turned to see Flutterwings, a member of the Change Gang, along with their brothers. "Where'd you guys come from?" "Where else? We've been over there this whole time." Flutterwings pointed to a nearby spot in the cafeteria. Thorax blinked. "Oh." Pharynx's face hooked yet again. "Only you guys." "Anyone jotted down how many times he face hooked?" Then Stinger, a blue-maned changeling, turned to his comrades. "Seriously, who else is going to suddenly show up?" Pharynx asked, looking at each of them. They only shrugged. Bang! Zenex yelped and ran to Thorax, hiding underneath him. "What was that?" Zen asked, shivering a bit. "What? It's just thunder," Flutterwings answered. Sounded more like dynamite. He struggled, not helping Pharynx, Thorax said, rubbing Zen's head. The Change Gang couldn't help but chuckle at Pharynx's comment. "All right, be that way. Then Zenex can have your pieces of cake," Thorax said, a smirk growing on his face. "Oh, come on, Thorax," the Change Gang groaned in unison. Zen blinked and poked his head out. "I don't think it's very fair, Thorax." "You're right. Just as long as they don't deliberately try to scare you guys with dynamite, or give Mitchell PTSD with it." He uses a dynamite launcher, though, Spinny pointed out. Speaking of which, Thorax turned to Zenex. You didn't bring your weapons, right? The nymph tilted his head. Why would we? Knowing Hive and Pharynx, it's a good precaution to take. Hey! Pharynx and Hive snapped. Flutterwings walked over to Hive. He looked over at her. Hey, Flutters. Hi. He chuckled. How's it going? Fine. I just don't know why other nymphs are freaking out at the thunder. You should have seen Zen. He jumped on the Hive's back the second he heard thunder earlier. I will cut you, Pharynx, he said, pouting. Pharynx just smirked at him. Try me. What? Are you calling him a coward? Flutterwings asked Pharynx. I'm just saying, shrugged. Zen rolled his eyes. Whatever you say, Fairy. Shut up, Zenny boy, Pharynx said, blushing. The others laughed a bit. Venom sighed heavily. He turned to see a pink reformed changeling suddenly standing there. Ah! Oh, hey, Thistle. She smiled and chuckled. Hey, Venom. He smiled back. How's it going? Good. Venom flipped his hand. That's good to hear. Any idea how long this storm is going to last? Thistle asked, looking at Thorax. He simply shrugged. Could be for a while. Bang! Ack! Zenex yelped, clutching the Flutterwings, who stared in surprise and awkwardly tried to embrace him. There? He chuckled sheepishly. Sorry. She blushed back. He stepped back to give her space. He looked around. So, dunno, when's the cake coming up? Dagger asked, stomping his toes like an impatient schoolfool. What kind of cake is it anyway? Just a simple chocolate cake, Thorax said. Ooh. Yeah, I guess they're just decorating it, Hive pointed out. How much? Flutterwings asked, her ears pricking up. Icing, sprinkles, I guess anything that'll make it tasty, I listed. Huh. Dagger looked at the kitchen. Come on, he pounded. It'll come out soon, Thorax assured him, rubbing his back. There's gotta be something that'll take your mind off food, Hive said. Nope. Pharynx raised a hoof. Smack. Only you, Dagger. Is that it? Zenex asked, pointing towards the kitchen. They looked over to see a group of changelings holding a fairly large cake and setting it on a larger table. Dang, Venom said, his eyes widening. Told you the cake would be big, Thorax said. Oh, wow, Pharynx murmured, also in astonishment. I wonder if we'll need tear gas or crowd control, Hive joked, pointing to the other changelings who eyed the cake. I don't think we'll need to go quite that far, Hive, Thorax said, forcing a smile. They look like they're going to ride over the cake, Zen said, hiding behind Hive. Whatever, I get the first piece, Pharynx said, rolling his eyes. Fine, have it your way, Venom muttered. No, I get the first piece, Thorax countered Pharynx's statement. You really want to fight me on this, bro? I'd win anyway. Pharynx held his head high, but dropped it at Thorax's next statement. But I'm the king. Don't kings always get the first piece? Thorax asked when Pharynx held back a snicker. He took a breath to stop the snickering. You don't even like us calling you Your Majesty. Pretty sure that cancels that out. Thorax rolled his eyes. Whatever, I get the first piece. There's an easy way to settle this, Pharynx smirked. Whoever calls dibs. Come on, guys, what are you, 6 years old? Venom rolled his eyes. Does it really matter who gets the first piece? Yes, the two brothers said in unison. Pharynx, I'm getting the first piece. Venom groaned, pressing his head against the table. He seriously couldn't believe how childish these adults were acting. Come on, there's gotta be a way to settle this, Thorax said, looking around. Wrestling match? Pharynx suggested. No. Thorax's eyes then landed on a couple of pillows. Can't we just pillow fight? Thorax exclaimed as he tossed one at Pharynx, who grunted. Oof, hey, I wasn't even ready. Then assembling the team, Thorax grinned. Whichever team wins gets the cake first. Guys, we don't have to do this. Too late. Thorax and Pharynx were rallying changelings to their cause and building their respective forts. And we've lost them, I've sighed. Well, I think we all know what to do now. Dagger shrugged. It's the only bit of action we're getting, so bucket. Come on, Zenny boy, Hap said. I want that cake. Can I sit this one out? Asked. Sure, if you want. Pharynx shoved his head before running to Pharynx's side. Flutterwings sighed and said, I guess we have no choice. Ocellus smirked. Well, I have an idea. It'll take patience, but you'll get the cake. What? Flutterwings looked over. Come on, let's go over here so they don't hear us. They walked over as the two brothers finished assembling both their forces and their fairly large forts. They'd rallied random changelings, as well as Mitchell, Hive, Dagger, Scorch, Spiny, and Mantis, who had gone with Pharynx, while Blue, Broken, Kai, Thistle, and Sting had gone with Thorax. So what's the plan? Zenex asked, turning to Ocellus. Well, we'll let those two tire themselves out, then we swoop in and take the rest of them out, and we win, Ocellus explained. But we'll need more than just 3 changelings. Maybe we could convince a few others to defect to us, Zen asked. Actually, Venom was against the whole idea. You think he and Cricket are going to come with us? Flutterwings said. It's worth a shot. Maybe we could also ask the other nymphs if they want to help us win. Good ideas, both of you. Ocellus smiled at them. Okay then, should I get the other nymphs? Zen asked, feeling a bit more braver than usual. Go ahead. Zenex raced off, smiling. Ocellus looked at Flutterwings. You want to get Venom and Cricket? On it. As the two left, Ocellus sat down and waited for them to return. She watched as the pillow fight between the two went on, analyzing it. She noted the patterns between the strikes and the positions each changeling took. Then, she noticed Pharynx lining up his soldiers. Ocellus' ears perked up when she heard voices. Okay, sis, you don't have to drag us. Sorry, bros. Flutterwings was dragging Venom and Cricket over. Ocellus smiled at the 3. Hey, guys. The 2 looked over at the pillow fight, then to Ocellus. So, any reason for us being here? Venom asked. We're going to win this pillow fight. Venom groaned heavily. Then, Zen and a large group of changelings walked over. Will this do? That's perfect, Zen. Yeah, perfect, Flutterwings chuckled. How did he... Zen blushed and held his head low, still smiling. Thanks. I try my best. Better than I did, she mumbled. Zen smiled at her. You did good too, Flutters, he said, wrapping love around her. She blushed and smiled. Thanks. Ocellus looked at them. So, now let's talk strategy. Zen looked over to the battle. Better think fast. Pharynx is setting up an artillery line. And there goes Thorax's base. He looked up to see Thorax's pillow fort collapsing on itself, burying all of its occupants. Ha! Got him! Pharynx boasted. Pharynx's team began marching toward the ruined fort, some gloating about winning when the pillow hill began shaking. What the... The pillow smacked Pharynx in the face. Surprise, Pharynx! Surprise, Pharynx! Thorax leapt for his brother. The rest of his team also sprung up and charged Pharynx's team, grabbing them and snuggling them. Flutterwings blinked. What are they? Thorax's team began snuggling, cuddling, and Chrysalis helped them, nuzzling them. Heck, the Thorax! We won! Take that, Pharynx! Thorax boasted. Let me go! Pharynx said, holding back the urge to giggle. Thorax smiled. Heh, maybe you shouldn't have told me that story about Fort Hyaline and the attack of the dead bugs. Pharynx's eyes widened. That's where you got it from? Thorax, why are you... Yep, except we're not dead bugs, we're cuddlebugs, Thorax said, nuzzling Pharynx's belly while running a forehoof against his hind hoof. The Thorax, let me go! Surrender the cake, Thorax said, sounding almost like the Celestia of Pharynx's Luna. Should we go now while they're distracted? Zenex asked. Ocellus nodded. Okay. Pharynx squirmed and laughed. Thorax continued to nuzzle his stomach. Thorax, let me go, you dork! If I'm a dork, then you must be a gigglebug. Thorax giggled his back hooves, and a cloud of pink filled Pharynx's face. Shut up! Come on, relinquish the cake! Okay, just stop! Squealed. Oh, fine. Thorax let his brother up, but now we get the cake. Whatever. Pharynx paused and stared past his brother. Thorax? Seems like you finally give in to your little brother, Thorax continued, not hearing him. Pharynx grabbed his brother's head and turned it over, making him face a large group of changelings. Attack! Ocellus yelled at the head of the group, raising a few pillows in her aura. And so they did. Before the two teams knew it, they themselves were buried in a hill of pillows. Pharynx and Thorax broke free of the pillows, watching Ocellus. Her team had already started chowing down on pieces of the cake. Hey, what are you guys doing? Thorax asked, shocked. Great, it's that snowball fight all over again, Pharynx muttered. Brains beats brawn, Zenex said, giggling as Hive poked his head up beside him. We got you, Hivey. Hive folded his forelegs, or tried to. He was still buried under the pillows. Can he at least get a taste? What do you think, Ocellus? Should we let them have taste? Zenex asked. Of course. Guys, Bunny poked his head out of the large hill and pulled himself out of it. Yeah, Flutterwings asked. Why did you do that? He asked, looking around as changelings poked their heads out like a whack-a-mole game. We wanted the cake, Zen shrugged. Well, that, and the fact that it's war. It could have always be worse, i.e. pesticides, venom storms, war crimes. Spiny thought for a second. Fair enough. Still wish we won, though. Zenex sighed. I'm sorry, Spiny, he said, patting the teal changeling's carapace. I've climbed out of the pillow hill. Don't worry about it, kid. Well, let's just eat, shall we? Acellus suggested. Okay. Zen raised a fork. Can we have some? Thorax asked, watching Acellus' team eat theirs. Acellus giggled. As that one Queen of Prance said, let them eat cake. Yeah, I think we get it. Nymph sighed and chuckled. Bang! Zen turtle-shelled him in front of Hive's hood, screeching. Hive sighed before picking him up and cradling him. Zen shapeshifted back and looked at Hive, snuggling close to him. Some of the others snuggled close to each other as well. Cricket ate the last bite of his cake slice. I'm beat. Dunno about you guys, but I'm taking a nap. I'm taking one too. Flutterwings finished her own slice of cake before yawning and curling up on the floor. Zenex slowly went to join her, warily looking out the window at the rain. She wrapped a hoof around him. Zenex smiled and curled up beside her. Together, the nymphs fell asleep amidst the other changelings, some who were napping, others eating. The rain pounded outside, but did not penetrate the peace within the cafeteria.